Long, long ago, in a village nestled between the red earth and the green forest of ancient Nigeria, there lived a curious little girl named Adanna. Her name meant father's daughter, and she was as bright and inquisitive as the morning sun that painted her village gold each day. Every evening, as the cooking fires glowed and the village gathered, Adanna would sit at her grandmother's feet, listening to stories that had been passed down through generations like precious beads on a string. These tales of clever tortoises, mighty spirits, and the first people filled her dreams and fueled her curiosity. One bright market day, Adanna walked alongside her mother through the bustling village square. The air was thick with the rich scents of roasted groundnuts and fresh palm oil. Traders called out their wares, their voices. A lively song and laughter echoed between the thatched stalls. Adanna's eyes sparkled as she watched her mother expertly choose yams, peppers, and woven cloth for their home. But today, something different caught her attention. There, sitting side by side at the potter's stall, were two water vessels. One was a magnificent golden bowl, decorated with intricate patterns that caught the sunlight. It gleamed and shimmered, drawing the eyes of everyone who passed. Next to it sat a simple clay pot, brown and plain, with no decorations at all. It looked so ordinary, even dull, next to its glittering neighbor. "Mama," Adanna whispered, gently tugging her mother's wrapper. "Why would anyone choose that plain, ugly clay pot when they could have the beautiful golden bowl?" "The bowl is so much prettier." Her mother smiled softly and knelt down, bringing her face close to Adanna's. "My child," she said, her voice warm like the afternoon sun, "appearances can be deceiving. The golden bowl is beautiful to look at, yes, but let us ask the potter which one she would choose for her own home." The potter, a woman whose hands bore the marks of many years shaping clay, overheard their conversation. She smiled, her eyes crinkling with a deep wisdom. "Little one," the potter said gently, her voice like the soft thud of clay on a wheel, "come closer and let me tell you about these two vessels." She carefully picked up the golden bowl. "This golden bowl is indeed beautiful. People admire it, and it makes them gasp with wonder." She tapped it gently, and it rang with a hollow, tinny sound. "But see, it is fragile. It cannot go near the fire. It cannot carry hot water. If you drop it, it will dent and lose its beauty forever. It must be kept on a high shelf, admired from a distance but rarely used. Now this clay pot," she continued, lifting the simple brown vessel with reverence, "may not catch your eye at first, but it was made from the same earth your grandmother walks on. It has been fired in intense heat, making it strong and resilient. It can hold the hottest soup. It can sit in the flames without breaking. If it falls, it may chip, but it will not shatter. This pot will serve a family for generations, long after the golden bowl has lost its shine and been forgotten." Adanna walked home beside her mother as the sun began to dip low, her young mind turning over the potter's words like smooth stones in a stream. She still didn't fully understand, but "Mama," she said as they approached their compound, "the golden bowl is still more beautiful. Everyone stops to look at it. No one even notices the clay pot." Her mother began preparing the evening meal, and Adanna helped as she always did, fetching water from the well and stirring the pot. "Tell me, my daughter," her mother said thoughtfully, "which pot am I using to cook your favorite egusi soup?" Adanna looked down. It was their old clay pot, the same one her grandmother had used, and her grandmother's mother before that. It sat steady over the fire, its sides blackened by years of service, holding their meal, never complaining, never demanding attention. A few days later, the village chief announced a great feast to celebrate the harvest. Every family was invited, and everyone wore their finest clothes and beads. Adanna noticed Chamaka, the chief's daughter, arriving in elaborate, shining wrappers and coral beads that clinked with her every proud step. Chamaka was known throughout the village for her beauty. Everyone said so. Her skin was oiled until it gleamed, and she carried herself like a princess. But Adanna also noticed something else. When the women began serving the delicious food, Chamaka stood apart, careful not to soil her fine clothes. When a younger child stumbled and dropped her food, crying, Chamaka just laughed instead of helping. When an elderly woman struggled with a heavy pot of stew, Chamaka walked right past without offering her hands. "My clothes are too fine for such work," she said loudly enough for many to hear. "I am meant to be admired, not to labor like a common village girl." Adanna, in her simple wrapper, moved through the gathering like a gentle breeze. She helped serve the food to the elders. She picked up the little child who had fallen, wiped away her tears, and found her another piece of fried plantain. She rushed to the elderly woman's side and, with her mother, helped carry the heavy pot with strong, willing hands. And though she wore no coral beads, though her wrapper was plain and her feet were dusty from running, Donna noticed something wonderful. People smiled when they saw her coming. They called her name with warmth. They blessed her and her family for raising such a helpful child. That evening, as the moon rose full and silver over the quiet village, Adanna sat with her grandmother under the ancient iroko tree. The old woman was weaving a basket, her weathered hands moving with practiced, rhythmic skill. "Grandmother," Adanna said softly, her voice barely a whisper on the night air, "I think I understand now about the clay pot and the golden bowl." Her grandmother's eyes twinkled in the lamplight. "Tell me, my precious one, what has the day taught you?" "Chamaka is like the golden bowl," Adanna said, her voice full of newfound understanding. "She is beautiful to look at, but she cannot help anyone. She cannot sit by the fire with us. She cannot carry our burdens. She cannot warm our hearts. She is too worried about losing her shine." Her grandmother nodded slowly, a proud, deep smile spreading across her face. "And you, my Adanna, what are you?" Adanna thought for a moment, then a smile lit up her own face. "I am like the clay pot. I may be simple, but I am strong. I can be useful. I can hold hot soup and cold water. I can sit by the fire and not break. And when I am old, like our family's pot, I will still be here, still serving, still loved." Grandmother pulled Adanna close into a warm embrace. The little girl could smell the familiar, comforting scent of shea butter and wood smoke that always clung to her grandmother's wrapper. "Yes, my child, true beauty, true strength comes not from what shines on the outside, but from what endures within. A kind heart is more precious than all the coral beads in the land. Strong hands that help others are more valuable than hands that only admire themselves. A generous spirit is more beautiful than the finest wrapper." She gestured toward their cooking fire, where the old pot sat cooling. The clay pot serves faithfully, year after year, generation after generation. It asks for no praise, seeks no admiration. Yet it is loved deeply, for it gives of itself every single day. This is the kind of person you must strive to be, not a golden bowl that fears to be touched, but a clay pot that embraces life, serves others, and grows stronger and more valued with each passing day. And so, Adanna learned a lesson that would stay with her all her life. She grew to be a woman known throughout the land not just for her beauty, though she was lovely, but for her strength, her kindness, and her generous heart. And in her home, passed down through the generations, sat that same old clay pot, simple and brown, still serving, still strong, still loved. For true beauty, as the ancestors knew, comes from within. Sleep well, little ones. May you grow strong and useful like the clay pot, and may your hearts always shine brighter than any golden bowl that is almost not useful. Good night.